Okay, now going to start the uh, meditation. So it is quite, today this is kind of the, we use through the Zoom webinar. So I'm not sure. Uh, I hope all of you can hear me clear, right? So today we're going to meditate on uh, compassion meditation. So specific great compassion. So during this meditation, it's not just only think or visualize. You have to feel compassion, to entire beings. Specific in this moment, some of you may have your enemies, which means certain people you may don't like them, certain people you may feeling anger or hatred towards them. So specific those people, and in this moment, it's very important to feel compassion towards them. That's the one of the purpose of meditating on compassion. Uh, the point is either you like them or either you don't like them. But the other side, it doesn't matter. You know, uh, it's not going to be affected anything towards them. But for you, huge differences. If you feel sincerely compassion towards those people you don't like them, that feeling of compassion helps you to keep your mind calm, peace, happiness. If you feel anger or any negative thoughts towards them, the result of that negative thoughts, what they're going to do, it hurts you, it harms you, it disturbs your mind. So therefore, if you really want to live happy in peace, then you should be carefully what feeling, you know, what kind of feeling you have to feel. You have to, it's in your hand. Feeling love and compassion towards them helps you feel much calm, much more peace. Feeling anger or hatreds and the negative thoughts towards them result, it makes you suffer. It creates you pain. It disturbs your mind. Therefore, in order to live in peace, feel compassion towards them is tremendous helps you to live happy in peace. That is why meditate on compassion. How can that helps you, feel peace and happy? That's the first important to know before you meditate on compassion. Then now, as a compassion meditator, it is very, very important to know how should meditate on compassion. What is the benefit of meditating on compassion? Then the next, how should I use this compassion in my day-to-day life? These three uh, points are very, very important before you meditate on compassion. The first I mentioned earlier, the benefit of meditation on compassion towards oneself, towards your family, towards society, no doubt, right? It's very clear. Living with compassion oneself always not only brings peace and happy calmness toward oneself, also it helps to your families or people who lives with you. And through that, it can affect to other people, remain much more calmer, much more peace. And through that, you can bring that energy towards your society, towards others. Now, what's mean compassion? Compassion means what? What I need to do. Here, compassion is inner quality. Compassion, put it into the actions. That's the difference. So sometimes people may, not proper understanding, about what you call the uh, compassion, uh, meditation, and compassion, put it into the actions. Compassion, put it into the actions. In order to do that, then you need assistance of the wisdom. So wisdom can help you what kind of form, what kind of actions you acted through compassion. What kind of form you have to emanate, and you have to show out of compassion. Wisdom can help. Sometimes lack of wisdom, then it may sometimes create, not that much benefit to society. That's why compassion, put it into the action. The wisdom is very, very important. But compassion itself is the inner quality I mentioned earlier. It is, what does that mean? That means it's the wish, it's the desire. So you wishing entire beings, including one's own enemies, including the people you don't like them or you hate them. You wish them to be free from suffering. You wish them to be free from causes of suffering. Here, main causes of suffering is each individual's mental afflictions, their destructive emotions like anger, hatred, attachments, greed, arrogance, selfish, and so forth, and negative actions, physical, verbal, you know, negative behaves. These are the called causes of suffering. So you're wishing them to be free from suffering, to be free from causes of suffering. That kind of wish, when you really feel it, when you really experience that wish, that's called meditate on compassion. So, in order to feel that wish, you need to think many others before you meditate on compassion. That's step by step, because that feeling is not easy. You can feel compassion toward your families, toward your friends quite easily. But when enemy comes, sorry, I got disconnected, I'm not sure. So when the uh, enemy comes, the strangers comes into that place, then sometimes you have a problem. You have a problem to feel that same. So that's how sometimes we have a problems. So therefore, you have to follow step by steps. Then eventually you can feel that compassion towards your own family, towards your enemy equally. So that's called great compassion. Only your friends, families, if you have a difficult to feel that same feeling towards your enemy, your compassion may not a pure compassion. This is called a compassion mixed with attachments. It's still not enough power to antidote to your self-centered, to antidote to your anger. There's not that much helps you. So therefore, in order to feel equal compassion towards enemies, strangers, towards one family, first you need to meditate mind of endearment. That's called the mind of endearments. Mind of endearment, what that mean? Mind of endearment, which means the mind which feel dear to all of them. Dear means sense of closeness, right? Seeing others as a lovable. So as parents, when you what you feel towards your children, right? You feel very close to your children. You feel dear to your children. That type of feeling close, feeling dear towards your enemies, strangers, toward entire beings. That's called mind of endearment. And uh, Buddhists, the word they use, affection, love, sense of closeness, feel dear. So this is the very important meditation. Without feeling sense of closeness or feel dear mentally, dear towards other, compassion, very difficult, impossible. That's why compassion meditator, before you actually start the compassion meditation, first we meditate on mind of endearment, sense of closeness, right? That's we need to do. So touch your heart to others. This closeness is not talking about physical closeness. Another physical, certain situation, I quite oftenly telling to the people, certain situation we have to stay distant, otherwise too much trouble, right? Physical. But that doesn't mean mental distant. Mental, you can connect to every beings. You touch to all of them. Mentally, you can do all of this to the uh, entire sentient beings. You can feel close to all of them, mental, seeing them as a lovable. You can do that. That's called the mind of endearment. Even the people who live in overseas, mentally, you can still feel very close to them. People who are just next door to you, physically, they are very close, they are just next door. But mentally, you can still remain very distant, very far to them, right? So here is the mental closeness, mind of endearment. So when you feel close to other, when you really feel dear to them, dear means seeing them as a lovable, seeing them as a likable, that kind of feeling. When you have that, compassion much easier. Compassion feeling arise much easier. So, how should we cultivate the mind of endearment, sense of closeness towards them? Is through understanding others' good qualities, through understandings others' kindness. So that's how we should look. Every being has good qualities, bad qualities, right? They are both things. They are sentient beings. So both. So we should look first the good side of the others, good qualities, and then we should also look the others the kindness. they have. So when you look at these good qualities and their kindness, it helps to feel sense of closeness, feel respect, right? Feel dear towards them. That is why in order to meditate the mind of endearment towards other, first we should meditate others' kindness, others' good quality. So first, what are the good quality we should look? There are hundreds of good quality among there. So first the easiest things to we should look from other side is as a sentient beings, as a human beings, first the fundamental desires, very innocent. Every being's deep of their heart, they seeking happiness, peace, right? They do not want suffering, wish to live happy, peace, you know, wish not want suffering, right? Wish to free from suffering. That's their identity. That's the fundamental desires. It's very innocent, very pure. Are always reminding to the people, you know, when you're born, right? That's newborn baby. She's very innocent. She have no influence by anything, but her desire, what she's seeking, looking, she looks happiness, peace, right? She always wants to live happy, comfortable. As soon as she suffer, she crying. Nobody teach her. Her body language, we know this newborn baby, every minute, every second, looking happiness and peace. When she are comfortable, when she's happy, she's comfortable, she quiet, she sleeps. That's showing this newborn baby. It's just always seeking peace and happiness and do not want suffering at all. That's her nature. It's just by birth. She already have this. So that's every human beings in this planet. When we born, we have this quality. These are called human identity. Our innate, natural desire is just very innocent, just wants to live happy in peace and do not want suffering. That's always look from that perspective. There's no reason to hate to anybody, right? They all have that pure desire. Just look from that perspective. They're very innocent. Then, as the human beings, right? Sometimes we have too much ego, too much arrogance, too much attachment, too much greed, too much anger. Those destructive emotions cover, blind us. We don't see the reality. So if you really look carefully, you should look at first when you're born, your body, everything comes from your parents, no doubt, right? Without your parents, caretaker, you will not going to be survive. So you are fully relying on somebody else. That's the nature who you are. After you're born, the milks you're drinking, slowly, slowly, the foods you have to eat. Without food, you will not going to survive, right? Imagine just one simple cookie. That cookie come from where? How it's get it there? There are hundreds of people to put effort, right, to create these cookies. started from the farmers to all the way to factories and the shopkeepers. Finally, it's ended up on your table, and you are enjoying this. So that one cookie you're enjoying has come from hundreds of people. That's the reality. Imagine how many pieces of cookie you eat in your life, how many cups of tea, coffee you drink in your life, foods, shelters, right? Important part of your education, where you got it. When you're born, your brain is empty. Sometimes when you become quite good educated, you think, oh, I done myself, nothing else. So we always thinking that. Actually, the educations you have, teacher, people who create the textbooks, right? Teacher, the people who build the classrooms, who create this technology, who create these facilities. And those facilities come from where? The money, government. Government get money from where? Each individuals. People work and the portions of money they give to the government as the name of tax. And that's the money, you know, getting you opportunity to get all these educations, foods, the road you're driving, the electricity you're using, right? Everything somehow directly, indirectly, really you're receiving benefit from entire beings. And not only human beings, even the animals, the little creature like a little fly, like a bees, right? Even the bee, it's just these bees, when you look at in the environments, the fruits we eat it, the honey we usually use, all this come from those bees, right? These bees are transforming those pollens and all kind of things. So today they're saying this, scientists, how important each of these little fly can helping our environments, fruits, ecosystems. There's so much things. So it's showing, it's not only by yourself, it's interconnected. It's from everybody's. That's the reality. So we need to open our eye and look deeper level, not just surface. So through understanding on these, then you should really feel the kindness and you receive from entire beings. Doesn't matter the others has intention to help you or not. That's not big deal. Reality is it's a benefit to you. That's no doubt, right? If the things benefit to you, you take care of them. Your car, if you have very fancy car, you so much take care of your car. You're cleaning them, all kind of things. These car do not have intention to help you, right? But that doesn't matter. As long as benefit to you, that's why you take care. Exactly the same. And not entire beings. They have intention or not. Somehow, directly, indirectly, it's tremendous benefit to us. Then for the practitioner, cultivating compassion because of other. Without other, how can you generate compassion? There's no other. Compassion means you wish them to be free from suffering, right? It's directly related with the others. Patience, tolerance, very important inner quality which protect your love and compassion. Those also because of others. Specific, your enemies. Specific, your troublemakers, right? So if there is no enemies, if there is no troublemaker, right? How can how can you generate what you call the how can you generate the patience if everybody is very nice? You never learn the patience, right? In order to cultivate the patience, you have to have troublemakers. You have to have enemies. So the one aspect, it looks like it hurts you, but as a practitioner, enemies are the teacher of your patience. Growing, increase, cultivating, developing patience because of when you encounter with your enemies. From that perspective, you appreciate being your enemy. It helps you to cultivate your patience. It's showing you they are your patient teachers. That's how you should look. So every beings, either directly, indirectly, somehow it's benefit to you. So looking from that perspective, then you feel appreciate to them and I feel gratitude towards others through understanding others' good qualities and others' kindness. So when you feel gratitude, feel appreciate to other, that helps to cultivate, to feel mind of endearment, feel respect, touch your heart with them, seeing them as a likable, lovable, right? When you have that feeling, mind of endearment, then compassion is easy. Means all of those beings are same like me. They really wants to live happy peace. They do not want sufferings. Whatever lifestyle they choose is for sake of happiness. But in today, in reality, instead of peace and happiness, all of them suffer physical, mental, emotional sufferings, right? Why they suffer? Because of their mind is polluted, dominant by distorted emotions, mental afflictions, negative thoughts, mental disease. Living with these negative thoughts, emotions, living with these mental afflictions, result stress, fear, worry, constantly, anxiety, loneliness, depressions, all kind of mental, emotional pains, then physically suffering of aging, sickness, death and dying, right? Suffering of birth, all kind of then individual level suffering as a family, as a society. It's like one after one, constantly every beings of these problems. Looking all these sufferings, understanding all this other suffering, then you really sincerely feel, I really wish them to be free from suffering and causes of suffering. I mentioned earlier, which is their mental afflictions, their negative emotions, and their negative actions. So that kind of wish, when you feel it from your heart, then you hold it. Just rest on that wish to stay, remain on that wish as much as you can. That's called meditate on compassion. Remain with this wish for longer, what they're going to do, it's reduce your self-centered attitude, selfish, thinking about only me. It change. It helps to open your heart. It helps to open your eye to seeing every being, to understanding others' sufferings. Through that, helps to reduce your self-centered. Because of that, it helps to reduce your anger, your hatred, your resentment, right? Through that, your other destructive emotion. Reducing these destructive emotion, it change your behave much better. Before too much violence, it change your physical actions. Same, it change your speech. Much nicer, more respect. So your action turning into more positive. Your mind is positive, your actions positive, it changes your livelihood, your right livelihood, your day-to-day life, where you live. It's more peaceful, more happier. And that kind of life not only helps you, also it brings that kind of what you call peaceful environment within your family, societies. That's how we create peaceful society, right? That's the compassion. So now we're going to start the meditation. So uh, during this meditation, it's very, very important. Everybody should be really focused on feeling. I mentioned earlier, feeling not easy. Some of you may not feel right now during the meditation, but you can think again and again and try to put effort to feel. Slowly, slowly, you will feel. Feeling may arise. As some of you may feeling, but that feeling remain very short time. So you should try to improve. Feeling remain longer, much deeper level. Right? That's how we need to progress our meditation on compassion. Okay, we'll start now. So in order to meditate, first most important the meditation postures among the seven physical posture are mainly keep your spine very straight and the rest of the body remain relaxed, comfortable. Don't hold it, tightness. So relax, comfortable, just remain spine straight and the mind feels completely relaxed. And then first, when you hear the sound of the singing ball, your mind fully concentrate only single pointly on the sound of the singing ball. Be aware that. Finally, sound completely disappeared just for a few seconds. Your mind not engaged to any external objects. It's just like a remain, like a space, not engaged to any object, just remain in their own nature state, like a space for a few seconds. Then you should slowly focus on your breath. When you inhale, you should just aware I'm inhaling. That's all. When you exhale, you should aware I'm exhaling. Inhaling with mindful, exhaling with the mindful. Then we'll start the compassion. So I'm going to guide the meditation. Okay, now we'll start. When the sound completely disappeared, just few seconds, give your mind like a space, not engaged to any external objects. Now slowly you should focus on your breath. When you inhale, you should be fully aware you are inhaling. Same when you exhale. Inhaling with the mindful, and exhaling with a mindful. Keep your mind relaxed and fully concentrate on one's own breath. Slowly, when your mind is calmed down, now first you should visualize the people you really feel close, like your families, your friends, all of them at your right. They're sitting beside your right, each of them. Then in front of you, you should visualize the people you don't like them, the people you really feel anger, hatreds, resentments. It's called the enemies. Visualize them in front of you. Then your left, visualize the neutral beings, which means you know them, but you do not have either close and distant relationships, like your co-workers or your neighbors, so forth, like 5 to 10 people at your left. Then rest of entire beings you should visualize at your back or they surrounded you. Now first, you should look all of them, either your friends, either your enemies. Their fundamental desires are completely same as yours. Wish to live happy, peace, and they do not want suffering. Exactly what you feel. Just understanding the other's fundamental desires are the same as yours. Just wants to live happy, peace, do not want sufferings. Every beings. So they are very pure, innocent nature, innate natural desires they have. Upon them, upon that, you should look your friends, the family at your right, how much you receive benefit from them. Kindness supports you. So remember all these benefits you receive from them, each of those benefits. Remember that and feel appreciate to them. Then you can apply to your neutral beings at your left. Their fundamental desires, same like you. They also wants to live happy, peace, do not want suffering. They do have anger issues or destructive emotions, same like you. They can harm, they can hurt you, but the kindness of not harming you, kindness of not hurting you, kindness of not harming to your friends and your families, kindness of not disturbing you and your families. Through that, you should appreciate them. Now your enemy is in front of you. Their fundamental desires are same as yours. Even they're living under the influence of destructive emotions, anger, attachment, jealousy, arrogance, and so forth. Whatever their action, violent, negative action, they act it, but don't accuse to the person. But all of these negative actions use because of their anger, because of their destructive emotion, not the person. Their destructive emotions are not them. Your anger is not you. Same, their destructive emotions are not them. Their destructive emotions are too strong. So they create all these negative actions. Instead of accusing to the person, you should accuse their destructive emotion. So try to distinguish person and the real troublemaker is their destructive emotions. Other hand, being enemies, creating all these dramas, it's for the practitioner. It really helps you to exercise your patience, your tolerance, your forgiveness, which are very, very important inner quality, very important quality who can protect your love and compassion. So all of these tolerance, forgiveness, patience, because of your enemies. Without them, you will never ever going to utilize your patience, never grow your patience. So seeing them as your patient teacher. Through that you should really pay appreciate to them, gratitude towards them. Finally, to entire beings, I mentioned earlier, the food you eat, the shelter where you live, the educations, the talent you have right now, this beautiful dress you're wearing, the road where you're driving, the electricity you're using, all of these because of others. So without them, you will not going to be survive. So remember all this benefit you receive from them. Feel appreciate to all of them. Feel gratitude to entire beings. Through that, you should cultivate the mind of endearment. Really feel, touch your heart to each and all of them, seeing them as lovable, innocent, feel dear to each and all of them. how much you feel close to your family, your friends, exactly same that sense of closeness, feel dear to all beings. So meditate on mind of endearment towards entire beings. Not just only think, visualize, you really try to touch your heart, all of them, seeing them as lovable, feel dear to all of them. So all of those dear sentient beings who really wants to live happy peace, who really do not want suffering like you, but unfortunately, because of living under the influence of self-centered attitude, attachments, greed, craving, anger, hatred, jealousy, arrogance, and so forth, called destructive emotions, mental afflictions. Living under the influence of those mental afflictions, the decisions become wrong, mistake. That's why they act physically, verbally, negative, violent, and the result of those is suffering, stress, depressions, anxiety, fear, loneliness, worry, depressions, emotional pains, then physical suffering of aging, sickness, death and dying. Then you can see individual so much suffering as a family, too much drama, as a society problems. Big, you can see that war, suffering of killing each others, abusing each others. So all level kinds of sufferings they have. Just think about all this suffering toward every beings. They come here for happiness. They're doing is for happiness, supposed to be. But what they got it, they all have physical, mental, emotional pains and sufferings. And through that, you should generate compassion. I wish each and all of them be free from sufferings and the causes of sufferings, which are the destructive emotions, the negative actions. So meditate on great compassion to all beings. You can think, you can visualize, but the most important thing is you can feel it from your heart. You really try to feel every beings, wish every beings, each and all of them, including your enemies, free from suffering and causes of sufferings. but you're feeling towards every beings equally, either your enemy, either your families. You wish all of them be free from suffering and causes of sufferings. You can touch your heart to each and all of them, entire beings, wish them free from suffering and causes of sufferings. Now, this powerful compassion you have right now, the merit you accumulate through to meditate on compassions, should visualize them as a form of smoke in your heart. And when you exhale, you should release the smokes with your breath. So when the breath comes from your nose, it goes through 10 directions and is spread to all over the universe through 10 directions. And entire beings, when they inhale, they take those smokes with their breath. Soon as when the smokes go into their body, should visualize all the suffering they have, physical, mental, emotional pains and sufferings, the causes of sufferings which they have destructive emotion, negative thoughts, and negative actions are completely purified. First, make sure you really feel compassion to all beings. Out of that compassion, take a deep breath and release them. Offer to them. Once again, out of compassion to all, take a deep breath and release them. Once again, out of compassion to all, take a deep breath and release them. Finally, you should visualize all other beings when they inhale, they take those smokes with their breath. Soon as when the smokes go into their body, visualize they purify all the sufferings they have, physical, mental, emotional pains and sufferings, and the causes of sufferings, which their negative thoughts, emotions, negative actions are completely purified. Now you should rejoice. And the promise oneself to keep this compassion always with the joy. Okay, so this is the kind of the compassion uh, meditation. So now, uh, important part here is what you meditate. And it's not just only 20, 30 minutes you meditate and you say, oh, I'm done now. You know, that's not enough. So what you put the seed compassion in your heart. So you need to nurture that compassion, remind you again and again. So reminding you, which means, when you have time, even 2 minutes, 3 minutes, when you're sitting on your couch, you know, drinking a tea or whatever, just feel that to every beings specific this cup of tea I'm enjoying, but imagine how many beings they put effort to create this tea, to create these cookies, to create this coffee. So now I'm the one who's enjoying. So my joy, pleasure feeling through experience, through engaging these drink, I wish them to be really free from suffering. I appreciate to them first, then through that I feel, connect with them, and I touch my heart to them. Through that reason, I wish them, and through entire beings, wish them to be free from suffering. So that kind of feeling, when you drink a coffee, when you're relaxing, always just for even few seconds, few minutes, each time when you feel it, eventually that feelings remain deeper level. As soon as when you feel that compassion, it makes you a very calm mind. It brings you so deep of your heart, feel much calmer, much peace, much more gentle joy. So that kind of feeling, if you utilize again and again and again, and that helps your day-to-day life remain calmer, right? Remain more relaxed, more peace. And that helps to change your, you know, usual, your actions. You used to be act some kind of violent, some kind of negative things. It slowly, slowly it will change that way. So that is why, what you meditate, so you should utilize, do this oftenly, and not only one time a day, to or 10 times, just for a few seconds, few minutes. It's just there, nurturing, right? Your minds. And that's when you live with this constantly reminding you, then through that reason, the actions you acted, always be mindful, right? Mindful of what I act. Do they really harming to people? Or they really hurting them? I should be always be aware, at least not harm, not harm, not hurt to any beings. Kind of these kind of mindfulness awareness will kind of the important, and it makes one's life more meaningful. So compassion put it to actions, which means like that way. So, and then if you can, always to benefit to others. So therefore, these meditation, what you meditate, and what you meditate, you always be remind yourself, always be aware yourself, always be mindful to always check your behavior, your mind, what you're thinking now, or what you're acting now, right? Be constantly. So be aware what you're thinking, what you're acting. It really helps you to change. Sometimes when you think negative, when you know you are thinking negative, oh, that's not good, I should stop. So it can change you. So therefore, compassion put it into the practice. It's very, very important. And that slowly brings not only oneself and a benefit, your families, slowly it can spread to your place you're working or your co-workers, slowly to the other society, and your co-workers, your family can learn from you, and they can also live with this meditation, and they can spread to their friends and the family. That's why whole society, becomes more compassionate society, living, creating more compassionate society. It's not only to oneself, the whole society become like a one family, like a very peaceful society, very happy society, right? That's the uh, result of compassion. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.